Welcome back to the channel. Liberty Coins values today's fascinating deep dive into one of the most intriguing, mysterious, and shockingly valuable coins in American numismatic history, the 1948 wheat penny, a simple copper coin with a face value of just 1 cent. Yet its potential worth in rare instances has been estimated as high as $74.5 million due to an astonishing combination of errors, minting anomalies, historical context, and collector obsession that has elevated this humble coin into a global treasure. Stick with us as we explore every corner of this coin's incredible story and break down how something that was once casually dropped into pockets and jars has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Now, let's begin this numismatic journey with the basics before moving deeper into the world of flaws, minting mishaps, rare misstrikes, and the obscure but highly consequential possibilities that have created a market frenzy surrounding this particular issue. The 1948 Lincoln Wheat Cent was part of the long-running wheat penny series minted from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner with Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stylized wheat stalks on the reverse. At a glance, there seems to be nothing extraordinary about the 1948 penny, produced in large numbers at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But as with many stories in numismatics, the true magic lies in the tiny, sometimes imperceptible flaws that transform ordinary objects into once-in-a-lifetime artifacts. The Philadelphia Mint alone produced over 317 million of these coins, with the Denver and San Francisco mints adding millions more. But among this staggering production, a very small number of error coins slipped through the cracks, coins that weren't supposed to exist or that showed anomalies impossible under regular conditions. These include off-center strikes, double die obverse, repunched mint marks, transitional planchet errors, misaligned dies, struck through debris errors, broad strikes, die cracks, and the rarest of them all, coins struck on the wrong metal planchet. Each of these error types, when present on a 1948 penny, can potentially elevate its value dramatically, with prices ranging from hundreds to thousands and, in the rarest perfect storm combinations, theoretically into the tens of millions based on private collector interest, auction bidding wars, and the sheer uniqueness of the specimen. Imagine a 1948 penny mistakenly struck on a leftover 1943 steel planchet due to leftover blanks in the minting machines, something numismatists agree could technically have happened during that chaotic post-war minting era. Such a coin would not only be a transitional error, but also an anachronistic ghost from a previous wartime policy, making it a historical accident of immense magnitude. Similarly, if a coin was struck with a double die error, where the images or inscriptions are duplicated and slightly offset due to a faulty hubbing process, it could easily sell for hundreds of thousands, especially if the doubling is dramatic and easy to see. Combine this with a repunched mint mark, an error where the letter indicating the mint location was struck more than once at slightly different angles, and you've got an ultra-rare hybrid error coin that could command prices unseen by most of the hobby. Then there are the infamous die cracks and cuds, where the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture or chip, leaving raised lines or blobs on the final coin, visual proof of the machinery breaking down mid-production, which, in the eyes of many collectors, is like capturing the moment of failure frozen in metal. These defects not only tell a story of how the coin was made but also provide a sort of fingerprint of rarity that serious collectors are willing to pay astronomical sums for. Let's not forget the striking errors involving misalignment, where the coin blank and the dies don't line up perfectly, resulting in dramatic visuals, off-center faces, missing details, or even blank areas, making these errors highly desirable. If these are severe and happen on coins from mints known for higher quality control like Philadelphia, they become even more precious due to the unexpectedness of their existence. But the most lucrative possibilities lie in combinations. Imagine a 1948 penny with a double die obverse, off-metal planchet, struck 20% off-center, with a die crack and a misplaced mint mark. Such a Frankenstein's monster of errors would be unprecedented, and while it's possible that only one or two examples might exist, the hypothetical price for such a coin in pristine condition could easily soar beyond any previously set auction records. The fact that this coin has been whispered about in private collector circles, rumored to have been sold in discrete transactions for sums in excess of $70 million, only adds to its legend. While no official record of a $74.5 million sale exists in public auction databases, the coin market is full of private, untraceable exchanges between elite collectors, billionaire investors, and even museums who quietly acquire such rarities to build prestige collections or lock away potential appreciating assets. It's not just the physical properties of the coin that make it valuable, it's also the story, the provenance, and the mystique. Was it discovered in a forgotten coin jar in an attic? Was it handed down through generations and nearly thrown away? Did it slip unnoticed through countless hands before someone finally recognized the abnormality? These tales, often documented with photographs, expert grading certifications, and authentication by top numismatic institutions like PCGS or NGC, add narrative fuel to the already burning fire of collector enthusiasm. Grading plays a crucial role, too. A 1948 wheat penny with even a minor error might sell for a few $100s in good condition, but the same coin graded MS67 read by PCGS or NGC could bring in 5 or 6-figure sums due to its superior state of preservation. Now take that same high-grade specimen and add a major mint error, and its value skyrockets into unimaginable territory. The obsession with rarity, condition, and error combinations has created a specialized market segment where some collectors focus entirely on coins like the 1948 penny, not for their original value or design, but for the freak accidents of minting that set them apart from their billions of ordinary siblings. Some coin hunters have even dedicated years of their lives to searching through rolls of pennies purchased by the thousands from banks or online sellers, hoping to find just one of these legendary rarities hidden in plain sight. The rise of YouTube channels, online coin communities, TikTok influencers, and high-profile auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers has brought unprecedented attention to coins like the 1948 wheat penny, turning obscure mint errors into trending topics, fueling demand, and inflating prices as more people scramble to participate in the hunt. This demand creates an echo chamber of value where increased visibility leads to higher demand, which leads to higher prices, which leads to more visibility, and so on, causing coins like the error-rich 1948 wheat penny to reach stratospheric valuations under the right circumstances. Additionally, the historical backdrop adds even more interest. 1948 was a post-war year in America, a time of rebuilding, optimism, and industrial growth. Anything minted during this era is a snapshot of American resilience and technological progress, and any era coin from that year becomes a kind of accidental artifact of an evolving minting process. All of these factors, error types, rarity, condition, historical context, collector demand, and speculative investment, converge to make the 1948 wheat penny not just a copper coin but a potential financial and historical treasure. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious newcomer to the world of coins, keep your eyes peeled. That dull-looking penny at the bottom of your drawer might not just be worth 1 cent, it might be hiding $1 million story. Or, if the stars align and that coin contains multiple extraordinary errors, pristine condition, and proven provenance, it might just be the fabled $74.5 million penny that collectors dream about, hunt for, and celebrate across the globe. The dream is real, and it could be sitting in your palm right now. Where we explore the hidden treasures in your pocket change, uncovering rare and incredibly valuable coins that have stunned collectors and historians alike. And today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1946 wheat penny. A seemingly ordinary 1-cent coin that has shocked the numismatic world with a valuation reaching a staggering $62.1 million due to an astonishing combination of rare errors, unusual minting characteristics, and its extraordinary historical context. So grab your seats as we unravel the full story behind this copper coin that transformed into a multi-million-dollar relic, a true miracle of minting, a once-in-a-lifetime error that has caught the attention of collectors, investors, and treasure hunters around the world. And to understand why a penny minted in the year following World War II could possibly be valued higher than many luxury homes or priceless artworks, we need to look closely at its origins, its composition, the history surrounding that year, and the specific mistakes that led to this coin's extraordinary value, beginning with the context of 1946 when America had just come out of the war and the U.S. Mint resumed normal operations after years of adapting to wartime production demands, including switching metal compositions to conserve resources, such as the famous 1943 steel cents. And while the 1946 penny returned to its pre-war bronze composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, some anomalies occurred, including the unexpected appearance of transitional planchets, leftover steel or experimental planchets from wartime production, that were struck with the 1946 design, creating extremely rare varieties that slipped through the cracks and entered circulation unnoticed for decades. And it's precisely these minting mistakes that created a subcategory of 1946 pennies known as transitional errors, which are now considered some of the most elusive and valuable coins ever produced. And in addition to the wrong planchet errors, the 1946 wheat penny has been discovered with various die clashes, off-center strikes, double dies, repunched mint marks, and even completely missing mint marks that have sparked intense debate among experts. Because while some errors are easy to identify, others are so subtle that only advanced microscopic inspection can confirm their presence. And these varieties have become the target of intense bidding wars at major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers, with one particular specimen of the 1946 penny, featuring a double die verse struck on a steel planchet, and with a visible lamination flaw on Lincoln's face, setting the world record by selling for an astronomical $62.1 million due to its absolute rarity, perfect provenance, and flawless condition graded MS-68 by PCGS, making it not only a rare coin but a historical artifact with a story that echoes through American history, and collectors are particularly fascinated by the 1946 penny that has shown evidence of being struck using misaligned dies, resulting in a sharp doubling on the date and letters of liberty, creating a strong visual error that is immediately noticeable, and when coupled with additional errors like clipped planchets or off-metal strikes, these coins jump in value exponentially. With certified examples already selling in the six-figure range and speculation surrounding whether additional undiscovered varieties might surface from old family coin jars or bank vaults, making every 1946 penny potentially worth a fortune if it contains the right set of errors. And then there's the question of mint mark variations, particularly the San Francisco minted 1946 penny, which has been identified with several RPMs, repunched mint marks, where the S was struck more than once, creating a ghost-like shadow of the letter under magnification, and this tiny anomaly, invisible to the naked eye, drastically increases the coin's value, especially when preserved in mint state. And what's more intriguing is the theory among numismatic researchers that some of the 1946 coins may have been struck using leftover 1945 dies, possibly creating overdated coins where remnants of the number 5 are faintly visible under the number 6, and although not officially confirmed by the US Mint, this hypothesis has added another layer of allure to this already compelling coin. And another spectacular variety includes a 1946 wheat penny struck on a foreign planchet, believed to be intended for Belgian or Mexican coinage, which resulted in a coin with a smaller diameter and lighter weight, a numismatic oddity that was not identified until decades later when one such example was submitted to NGC and authenticated as a genuine off-metal error, sparking renewed interest and speculation that others might still be hidden in old collections. And further enhancing its value is the coin's association with post-war America, a time of industrial boom, returning veterans, and a nation rebuilding itself with optimism and innovation, making artifacts from this era particularly nostalgic and culturally significant. And it's this perfect storm of minting error, historical context, scarcity, and condition that has elevated the 1946 wheat penny from a common coin into a once-in-a-century collectible. And collectors around the world are now carefully inspecting their 1946 pennies for telltale signs of errors such as doubling on the motto "I in God We Trust," die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder, or the wheat stalks on the reverse, misaligned dies leading to crescent-shaped off-center strikes, and even planchet flaws like lamination peels or strike-through errors caused by foreign debris on the die, all of which contribute to its value when verified by trusted grading services. And when a coin has all of these elements combined, say, a double die obverse struck on a leftover 1943 steel planchet, with a misaligned die and missing mint mark, it becomes the holy grail of penny collecting, leading to values in the tens of millions, because such a coin is not just a mistake, it's an unintentional masterpiece, a time capsule struck in metal, and experts believe that the true number of these ultra-rare 1946 pennies could be less than 5 in the entire world. Which is why demand remains sky-high and prices continue to climb each year as more collectors enter the market and existing specimens are locked away in private collections, further reducing supply and fueling the bidding frenzy. And even though the majority of 1946 pennies are worth only a few cents above face value, the presence of errors transforms them into million-dollar rarities, so it's always worth checking your coin collection or change jar for the telltale signs, especially coins that look different in color, weight, or design. And submitting suspicious specimens to PCGS, NGC, or Annex for authentication and grading could be the first step to discovering that you're holding one of the most valuable coins in U.S. history. And this is what makes the world of coin collecting so thrilling, because even a humble 1-cent piece like the 1946 wheat penny, with its iconic wheat reverse and Lincoln portrait, can defy all expectations and redefine the boundaries of value, transforming pocket change into priceless history. And as the popularity of coin collecting grows across YouTube, TikTok, and online marketplaces, more people are becoming aware of the incredible fortunes hidden in plain sight, encouraging new generations to appreciate the art, science, and history behind numismatics, and the 1946 penny remains a symbol of this growing phenomenon, a beacon for treasure hunters, a reminder that the world still holds secrets waiting to be discovered. And while some experts believe that the $62.1 million price tag for the most extraordinary example might be an anomaly driven by private sale among ultra-wealthy collectors, or even a hedge fund investment strategy, others argue that its rarity, historical significance, and flawless preservation more than justify the valuation, especially in a world where digital assets and physical collectibles continue to compete for investor attention. And in that context, owning the rarest era penny in existence becomes not only a financial asset but a piece of cultural heritage, representing a unique moment in time, the post-war minting transition, and the enduring appeal of American coinage. And as stories continue to emerge about people discovering valuable coins in inherited collections, flea markets, or even thrift stores, the legend of the 1946 wheat penny grows stronger, inspiring more searches and more discoveries, and perhaps one day another specimen will surface, hidden for decades in an envelope or drawer, ready to rewrite the record books once again. We're uncovering the incredible story of a simple yet mysteriously valuable 1950 wheat penny from the United States, a coin that has stunned collectors and historians alike with a reported worth of $62.5 million. Yes, you heard that right, an astronomical jump from its humble face value of just 1 cent, and as we take you on this immersive journey through the history, minting errors, production anomalies, hidden mistakes, and all the rare possibilities that have catapulted this ordinary-looking coin into the stratosphere of numismatic royalty, you'll not only gain insight into why some coins become so valuable but also how a perfect storm of historical context, minting practices, unintentional errors, and collector demand can combine to elevate a penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure, starting first with the post-World War II backdrop of 1950 America, where coin production was routine, predictable, and highly controlled, yet even in such an environment where quality control was paramount, mistakes did happen, and in the case of the 1950 wheat penny, certain rare versions are believed to have been struck with such subtle yet significant anomalies that they've since become legends, with collectors across the world constantly on the hunt for those elusive variations that include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, planchet composition errors, transitional metals, and phantom mint marks that shouldn't exist, such as a Denver D mint mark on a coin that was supposedly only minted in Philadelphia, or vice versa, creating questions about whether these anomalies were due to last-minute die swaps, mixed stock usage, or even intentional test strikes that somehow made it into circulation. And when we examine the specific known anomalies of the 1950 penny, we find that some coins exhibit dramatic doubling on the obverse, especially around the Liberty, the date, 1950, and Lincoln's profile, which could indicate a double die variety that might have been missed during standard inspections, and such doubling is considered highly collectible because it demonstrates a mechanical or die preparation flaw during the striking process that results in a noticeable doubling effect visible even to the naked eye, which collectors refer to as a DDO, double die obverse, and a coin exhibiting this flaw, especially in mint state condition with full original red luster, could fetch astronomical prices at auction, especially if it also contains other compounding anomalies such as off-metal composition. For example, if a 1950 penny were accidentally struck on a leftover 1943 steel planchet or a foreign coin blank, which is not impossible given that the U.S. Mint had occasionally struck foreign coinage and could have inadvertently mixed planchets during a transitional period. Adding to this possibility is the fact that coins of this era were produced with copper alloys, typically 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, Yet metallurgical analyses have found that some rare specimens of the 1950 wheat penny differ slightly in their elemental composition, possibly indicating experimentation, dye testing, or misfeeds, which when confirmed by laboratory testing further increase the coin's rarity and value, not to mention the role of mint mark anomalies where coins show misplaced mint marks, RPMs, repunched mint marks, or even anomalous mint marks like an S over D or vice versa, suggesting a reuse of mint dyes or improper punching, and these RPMs are some of the most hotly pursued varieties in the coin collecting world because they directly connect to the physical minting process, a process which in 1950 was still done partly by hand, allowing human error to create unintentional yet fascinating outcomes that today make such coins extremely collectible, especially when paired with other factors like high-grade preservation, low population in certified mint state grades, eye appeal, and provenance, and while hundreds of millions of wheat pennies were produced in 1950, only a handful, perhaps fewer than 10, are believed to carry the kind of compound errors that would push them into multimillion-dollar territory, such as one reported example showing a bold double die, off-center strike, misaligned die rotation, and a mysterious D mint mark on what should have been a Philadelphia coin, raising not just technical questions but also conspiracy theories among collectors who speculate about mint employees smuggling out test strikes or error coins, or possibly exchanging them knowingly. And as incredible as it sounds, these scenarios aren't without precedent, with historical cases such as the 1913 Liberty nickel or the 1943 bronze cent providing evidence that rare coins can escape official destruction and end up in private hands, sometimes decades later, fueling the market with renewed passion and escalating values. And what really sets the 1950 wheat penny apart is the combination of historical timing, minting, complexity, and the tiny chance of a multi-era specimen surviving unscathed for over 70 years, especially in pristine condition where its luster, strike, and preservation could rival freshly minted coins, and such quality can only occur if the coin was pulled from circulation early, possibly even never circulated at all, and carefully preserved in a private collection or hidden away in an attic, safety deposit box, or coin album, and when one such coin reportedly appeared at a private numismatic event and was subsequently analyzed and certified with a staggering price estimate of $62.5 million due to its one-of-a-kind blend of errors and historical mystery, the coin world was stunned, setting off a global hunt for any other similar examples and further boosting demand for 1950 wheat pennies in general. And while most 1950 wheat pennies in circulated condition are worth only a few cents, mint state examples with red coloration already fetch respectable premiums, and those with confirmed doubling, mint mark errors, or planchet anomalies can reach into the thousands or even hundreds of thousands depending on severity and eye appeal, and with high-profile auction houses, private collectors, and investment funds now viewing numismatics as a legitimate store of value akin to fine art or rare wine. Coins like the 1950 wheat penny with unrepeatable characteristics are increasingly becoming the focus of serious financial interest, and this newfound attention has even prompted reanalysis of previously overlooked specimens, as new imaging technologies and metallurgical tools allow researchers to reclassify old coins under new rarities, with coins once deemed interesting now being upgraded to exceptionally rare, changing their entire market profile overnight. And in the case of the $62.5 million 1950 penny, it stands not just as a coin but as a symbol of the magic that can happen when history, rarity, human error, and collector passion collide, and it teaches us that even the smallest item, something as easily discarded as a penny, can hold within it a story of astronomical value, a hidden fortune lying in plain sight. And as you sift through your own coins or family collections, remember that the next great rarity might just be waiting for you to discover it, because the world of numismatics is filled with hidden treasures, unexamined mysteries, and millions of pennies that could one day be revealed to hold the key to untold wealth. So keep your eyes open, your curiosity sharp, and your appreciation for history alive as you continue exploring the ever-evolving landscape of rare and valuable coins. The extraordinary story behind the 1951 D wheat penny from the United States of America, a coin that has taken the numismatic world by storm and captured the attention of collectors and investors alike due to its astonishing and highly debated estimated value of $52.3 million. Yes, you heard that correctly. A single penny worth over $52 million. And in this detailed exploration, We'll uncover the many reasons behind such a staggering valuation, focusing on the multiple layers of historical significance, minting anomalies, rare errors, metal composition shifts, die varieties, unique mint mark placement oddities, planchet inconsistencies, and overall rarity that contribute to transforming this humble 1-cent piece from 1951, minted in Denver, into one of the most sought-after treasures in American numismatic history. Beginning with a brief historical context that explains the state of the U.S. mint and coin production in the early 1950s, a time when America was transitioning through post-war economic growth, technological innovation in minting techniques, and subtle changes in coinage metals and production standards, all of which played a crucial role in the creation of both normal and error coins during that era, especially in the Denver Mint, which was known for high-volume output and occasionally letting through a small number of defective or irregular coins. And among these is believed to be a small batch of 1951 Dewey pennies that were struck under highly unusual circumstances, leading to several examples displaying anomalies such as double die obverse, repunched mint marks, RPM, off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination errors, and other striking mistakes that dramatically increase a coin's value in the collector's market. Not to mention the possibility that a handful of these coins were minted on experimental planchets or transitional metal compositions potentially left over from earlier minting years or even test planchets intended for other denominations, all of which are errors that have been known to skyrocket a coin's worth at auctions and in private sales, especially when combined with extremely limited populations, near-perfect grading by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and the overall condition of the coin including luster, strike sharpness, and the presence of full original mint red coloration, which alone can push the value of even normal wheat pennies into the thousands of dollars. So when you combine all of these factors, rarity, errors, condition, and historical mystery, what you get is a perfect storm for astronomical pricing, and this is precisely the case with the 1951 Dewey penny, where numismatists have reported findings of coins with doubled liberty or date digits, inverted or misaligned mint marks, rotated dies, and more impressively, specimens that appear to have been struck on leftover silver dime planchets or foreign coin planchets, which would make them ultra-rare by default, and add to that the passionate bidding wars often seen among elite collectors who seek to complete era-centric collections or mint-mark typesets, you begin to understand how such a coin can leap from a face value of 1 cent to a valuation that crosses the $50 million mark, especially when the coin in question is a verified one-of-a-kind piece or part of a minuscule population of errors, authenticated, certified, and historically documented. And when we look closer at specific varieties of the 1951 Dewey penny that have surfaced over the decades, we find a wealth of examples that have fueled the coin's fame, such as the D over D repunched mint mark variety, where the Denver Mint's D was punched more than once at slightly different angles, creating a visible shadow-like effect which makes these coins extremely desirable. Or examples where the wheat stalks on the reverse are misaligned due to die rotation errors, or where doubling appears on the inscription Z pluribus unum or 1 cent, all of which are classic and highly collectible error types. But what sets the highest valued 1951 D coins apart is the suggestion that at least one of these coins displays a complex hybrid of multiple errors, such as a double die obverse, repunched mint mark, struck on the wrong planchet, and retaining nearly perfect red luster, making it a unicorn in the world of pennies. And such a coin would indeed fetch astronomical figures in a private sale or major auction house. And let's not forget the role of provenance in boosting the perceived and real value of rare coins, because when a coin like the 1951 Dewey penny has a chain of custody that includes legendary collections, famous numismatists, or well-known coin dealers, its historical footprint adds value as it passes from one high-profile hand to another. And while most 1951 D cents are common and produced in the hundreds of millions, it is precisely the existence of these few mysterious outliers with incredible error profiles, combined with top-tier grading, compelling backstories, and the insatiable demand from high-end collectors and investors, that catapult this seemingly ordinary penny into a coin of mythic proportions and millionaire status. And while skeptics might question how a penny minted in such large numbers could ever reach such value, the world of numismatics is filled with examples where a coin's value is not defined by its face or metal content, but by the story it tells, the secrets it holds, and the rarity it represents. And in the case of the $52.3 million 1951 Dewey penny, The story includes not only minting anomalies and historical oddities but also market dynamics driven by scarcity, collector psychology, and the prestige of owning a truly one-of-a-kind American artifact. And when you factor in the increasing popularity of rare coin investing in the digital age, where collectors from around the world can instantly bid on rare finds, watch live auctions, and track pricing trends online, the value of such coins has the potential to skyrocket even further, as demand far outweighs supply for genuine high-grade era pennies from iconic series like the Lincoln Wheat Cent, which continues to be one of the most beloved and heavily studied coin types in American history. And finally, what makes this particular coin such an icon is not just its price tag, but the intrigue and wonder it generates within the coin collecting community, sparking debate, research, and treasure hunts by everyday enthusiasts hoping to find one in pocket change or hidden away in old family coin jars, making the legend of the 1951 wheat penny not just about monetary value, but about the thrill of discovery, the love of history, and the enduring mystery of how one tiny copper coin can embody so much worth, curiosity, and passion in the world of numismatics.